Hello and welcome to this tutorial where I'm going to be taking a look at the Team Deathmatch starter template, and I'm going to look at how we can turn a Team Deathmatch game into a game where you get points for doing something else. So in a Team Deathmatch game, you usually get points by killing members of the opposite team. You get points for yourself and you get points for your team. And then at the end of the round, the team with the most points wins the round. But what if we want to take this concept of a team-based game with points, or the point scoring mechanism in there, and we want to distribute those points based on some other criteria? So that's what we're going to be doing here. We're going to look at how we can make this game give us points when we put this ball in this goal. So at the moment, it's set up exactly as the Team Deathmatch starter template, with guns and whatnot, except I have already done a little bit of coding here where if I put that ball in that goal, it will essentially respawn the ball, respawn the players, and it will reset things that need resetting. So if we take a look at how that works currently, when I score a goal in this football goal here, you can see that there's a trigger within this goal mesh. And attached to the trigger is the respawn entities part. And essentially, when the trigger is entered by something, it goes to the goal script here, and it checks if the thing was a ball, if it was a mesh, if it was called football. And when it does that, it says, okay, so the football has entered the goal, and then it pauses here, waits a couple of seconds for them to, I don't know, emote and celebrate and dance and all that stuff, and then run some respawn events, which are hooked up to there. So you can see that we've got this ball script, which has got a respawn function, and we've got a spawn user script, which is too. So that code is already taken care of at this point in this game. But that's the simple stuff. And I just want to look at how we can make the game a different objective. So the answer lies in the game script. So in the game, in the Team Deathmatch starter template, there's this game controller, which is a locator in the middle of the game. And on that locator is this script called game script. And actually, because I have this template and I've started a game using this template, it means that I've got access to the script and I can change it. It will just change in this one game. It won't change in all of the games made by everyone. This game script is particular to this game, so I can modify, tweak it however I want to. And in this game script, which there are two functions. There's this user died function at the very end, and there's this add team score function. So these two functions are the ones we really care about. There's a lot of other code in here, which is really useful because it does stuff like the lobby, and it kind of referees the whole game. It does the rounds and all of that sort of stuff. But the bit we really care about when we're changing the objectives is this stuff down here, because this bit distributes the points to the person that killed someone else and their team. And then this function is really useful because that applies the points to the team. So how can we leverage this already existing mechanic with all the points and it's all working? How do we leverage that to make it give points for some criteria that we want to use? Well, the way we're going to do it is we're essentially, when this trigger is entered, remember this trigger on the goal, when that's entered by the ball, and we check it's the ball here, and we fire this on goal scored function event, that needs to tell the game script, hey, the ball has entered the goal, and you need to distribute points accordingly. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a function in this game script on goal scored, and it's essentially a function that will be fired when the ball enters the goal. So we can save that. Now that we've written that function out, if I go to the trigger, the on goal scored event, I can click the plus and I could put the game controller in there. So I'm saying to talk to the game controller, talk to the game script on the game controller and run. And there's all the functions that are in the game script here. Run the on goal scored function. So now this trigger, when the ball enters it, will run that on goal scored function according to this goal script. Run it here, and that will call it here. Cool. So that's hooked up. So they're tightly coupled, which is okay for now. There might be a way to do it less tightly coupled that you want to explore. This is just one way. This is just the way that I found to do it, and this leverages the stuff that already exists. However, you're more than welcome to go and find different ways, better ways, worse ways, however ways you want to do it. So this function will now run. So let's add some points. So how do we do it here in the onUserDied script? Well, we send out a message saying the user died. We get hold of the person that killed them, and then we find the team they're on. We give points to them, and then we find the team they're on, and we give points to that team. So in a football game, we can use this line of code here to distribute the points to the team that just scored. And the way we'll do that is we'll pass in the team into this function, and we will distribute the points using this. We'll say add team score to team. Now, at the moment, when we run this function here, we're not actually passing the team, which we need to do. So let's get hold of the team in the goal script. Now, the goal script is attached to the trigger. On the goal itself, I've added this team script, which is already available. If you've used any team-based game template, then the team script is already in that template. And essentially, I'm just using this to store what number team this goal belongs to. This is team 1's goal. So if team 1 score in this goal, they get a point. So to get hold of that property, I can store it locally. So I'll store it in a local variable called team, and I'll say self. So this is referring to the goal script. Then get entity, and that refers to the trigger that the goal script is attached to. Then get parent, which refers to the football goal that is the parent of the trigger. And then I can use the function find script property, because that then doesn't mind what script this property is attached to. It will just get the property, and the name of the property I'm looking for is team. Okay, so this function, this string of functions will run. It will get the team that the goal is assigned to, and it will store that in this team variable. And then we can send that along in our event. It will get sent to this game script function here, and points will be given to that team. Let's try it out. So spawn the game. I'm just in the lobby, and now I'll test the code because I'm in the game itself. My team has no points. Scores a goal. Team has 1 point. If I get this ball, if I run the other way with it, you're going to see my dribbling skills now. Bear with me. Might need to make some kind of kick mechanic here. Yeah, okay, so red team got a point too. Okay, so the goals work and they give points to the teams, which is a great start. Now, something else that this team deathmatch does is it gives points to the player that killed the other person. So we could stop here and we could just make it about the team-based goal scoring stuff. But let's just carry on a little bit and see if we can implement giving players points, individual points for scoring goals as well. So it's a bit of a twist on the normal football game because now we're doing something slightly different, which is fine. It's my game. I get to do that. So this line of code is a line of code I need. I will copy that and I will paste it in my function, the goal scored function. Now it's expecting to have a user here and it wants to send a event to that user. It wants to add score and it wants to add the amount stored in the kill score property on GameScript. So this is all fine because I have all of this stuff here. The from user is tricky because I don't currently have a reference to the user who scored. I've got a reference to the team that scored because that's come from the goal, but I don't have a reference to the user. So we need to go and find a way to get that user. let's go and have a look. How might we do that? So we need to know the last user that touched the ball. So we'll go to the ball script, which is attached to the football, and all the ball script does at the moment, handle respawning the ball and stopping any of the physics that are going on. But let's create a new property, which is going to store the last person to touch the ball. It's going to be called last touch. And here we're going to create a function. And this is going to be, it's part of this class. And save, let's say save last touch. So this should store, actually, let's call it store last touch. Store, there. Store last touch. And this is going to be called from a collision event. Other. And then here I'm going to check if other is a character, then and in here end that if function, and then here we want to save them to the self.properties.last touch. Save that character to the last touch, but we need the user. It's not the character, it's the user. The character also goes through a respawn. So there, I don't know whether there might be a possibility, without researching, not sure whether there might be a possibility that could be nil while they're respawn. Probably not, but let's just get hold of the user. I know that they stay alive. Get user. So now the user is stored in the last touch. So last touch, let's give ourselves a little bit of a clue as what that means. Last user. Then that is set there. Oh, I guess on the respawn, let's also reset self.properties.last touch equals nil. Let's reset that to nil. Let's make sure it's nil by default. And we can even do editable equals false so that when I click football, it does, as a property, it doesn't show up here. Cool. Okay. I guess this function doesn't run at the moment. It's there, but it doesn't run. So let's make that function run. Let's call it from the onCollision event on the football mesh. And let's use our self ball script, and event is store last touch. Okay, so now that should store the last touch, the last user to touch the ball. So to pass that into our goal scored function, we need to get hold of it. And we have a reference to the ball here because other is the thing that just entered the trigger, and we've checked it's a ball here. So I will get a new local variable. This will be called scorer. This will be other find script property last touch. And that refers to this property here. So the scorer is that user, and we will send that through in this function, scorer. And in the game script, capture it here, scorer. And instead of from user, let's do scorer there. Cool. So let's test this out. Wait for the lobby to complete. And let's go and score and see if SuperGoose2294 is given some points. Yes, SuperGoose2294 has been awarded points. Now one thing that isn't going to work necessarily, or it might, let's try it out, is how about scoring in my own goal? Problem. I'm given a point for scoring in my own goal. So now we probably need to check in the goal script. We need to check somewhere that, let's do it in the game script. We need to check that the scorer, it deserves the points. Because maybe the scorer was an own goal. So if scorer, which refers to the user, maybe we need to player. You need the players, the user have a, or does the player have the team? Team. User has the team. Cool. So we just get hold of the team. If user find property script property, it's not user, it's scorer. If the scorer's team, if that at equal to the team, then give them points. The team is the goal team. I might change this so that it's more descriptive. Team goal number. Team goal number. Goal team number makes sense. So goal team number there, give them points. So regardless of whether the scorer scored an own goal, the team goal it is gets the points, and the scorer gets points if they have scored in the correct goal. Right? Let's find out. So wait for the lobby to complete. And score a goal. I still get a point if I score in the correct goal. Let's see whether I've solved the own goal conundrum. This way. Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna make this easier. Test that there. This is now I can't miss, right? Right? Score. Okay, red team has now got a point, and Super Goose 2294 didn't get a point because he was silly and he scored in his own goal. But he still gets a point that way. Success. So that is essentially the crux of it. I can also do something like remove the points system from here just by commenting it out, or I could keep it in. So I could make it so that you can get points for killing other people, and then you get 100 points for scoring a goal by using some properties. Or I can remove this mechanic altogether. So I don't care if you kill someone. They will respawn. All of the respawn mechanics is still taken care of, but no one gets points for it. I can tweak and play around with this and change the dynamics, objectives of the game however I want. And that's ultimately what this was all about. So hopefully that was useful for you. I think that going into this game script can be a little bit daunting. It's quite big, but if you're just looking to change the reason people are given points, then actually it's quite straightforward. You just need to write a function that is called when something happens when someone should be given some points, and then give them points in that function. And that is essentially what we've done here. And you can take out what happens when the user died or not. You could give lots of points for lots of different things. It could be like a game show where the points don't matter and everything's made up, but everyone gets points all of the time. Whatever kind of system you want to make. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me know. Get in touch on the Discord if you've got any problems, got stuck, made something awesome, want to show off. Any of these things are good reasons to come and have a look on the Discord and chat about your game. And I really look forward to seeing what objectives you come up with for your team-based games and seeing what happens with this in when I'm playing Crayta. So I'll see you in the game.